and welcome to week 4, creating your GPS grad portfolio story with a focus on the reflective portfolio phase 1. This week, we're going to be opening the module for week 4, so we have our module here. Also, I would like you to review one of our guest networkers' information on writing a winning resume seminar and the online career portfolio with Amanda Long from the Department of Career Planning and Development, which goes along with our first assignment. She provides great information and just updated her presentation for spring 2019 on creating a resume. And also, she has information on creating a portfolio. Also, in this module for week 4, we have discussion 2, which we'll be reviewing later on in our video, creating your GPS grad portfolio story, reflective and public, which is due on Thursday, January 31st at 11 p.m. for 35 points. We'll be reviewing material on creating your portfolio. And then assignment 1, creating a reflective portfolio phase 1 reflect. That is also due on January 31st at 11 p.m. 75 points. We'll be talking about that later in the video. Also, I provided a video in the assignment with detailed instructions. Also, remember we have frequently asked questions you can post about our class and grad portfolio story forum where we share information about portfolios. And I did post some information about Wix.com from Rose Warner, our KSU UITS trainer. Okay, let's look at more detail for week 4. Here's our module for this week in our video. Introduction: creating and developing your GPS grad portfolio story is an empowering way for you to assess your learning, integrate your learning, and prepare to share your learning story. This module focuses on the process of reflecting on your learning. We will explore the process of creating your GPS grad portfolio story with the focus on Reflect GPS grad portfolio story phase 1. This is the first phase of the 5 phases of development for your reflective and public GPS grad portfolio story. Our module objectives relate to course objectives number 1, 4, and 5 for this week. And after you complete the tests in week 4, you'll be able to discuss the process of developing a reflective portfolio and a public portfolio, discuss the mission, design, and format of the public portfolio, and create a learning story for the reflective portfolio. Now, let's look at the activities for this week. They should take you about an hour and 25 minutes. This week, you're going to be looking at 3 of our INTS ebooks. The first one is the Grad Portfolio Story Process. The second is creating your reflective portfolio. And the third is looking at the guest networkers, where you'll be looking at material on creating your own e-portfolio seminar and also the resume workshop seminar with Amanda Long. And she's our Associate Director of Outreach and Engagement for the Department of Career Planning and Development. She also just shared with her most recent presentation on creating resume and covering letters that I've just posted for spring 2019 here. What our graded coursework due this week is discussion 2, creating a GPS grad portfolio story, reflective and public, due on Thursday at 11 p.m. worth 35 points, should take you about an hour. And assignment 1, creating your reflective portfolio phase 1 reflect, due on January 31st at 11 p.m. worth 75 points, should take about maybe 2 hours to complete. Also, please review the upcoming coursework for next week. Next week you have 1 discussion due. Discussion 3, creating your reflective GPS grad portfolio story. That is due February 7th at 11 p.m. worth 35 points. That should take you about an hour. Now remember, if you need an extension, please let me know. And just send me an email on D2L. That's my preferable way. Or you can call or send an email on the school KSU email as well. Also remember that all the coursework is open. So if you want to work ahead, you certainly can do that as well. Module summary. After completing this module, you'll be able to define the process of creating your GPS grad portfolio story with the focus on creating a reflective portfolio. Module checklist. Read the portfolio format live binder ebook by me, Dr. Joni Leisher Dominic. Continue to read the GPS grad portfolio story live binder. Continue to read the Reflective Portfolio Live Binder. Continue to review related guest networker seminars. And remember, discussion two, and assignment one are due on January 31st at 11 p.m. and review upcoming discussion three due on the 7th at 11 p.m. What's next? Well, next week we're going to be looking at creating your reflective portfolio GPS grad portfolio story with the focus on phase two assess that looks at your learning, your significant learning that you want to write about. You pick some significant learning experiences that you would like to talk about. Okay, let's look at discussion two, which is coming up. Discussion two is again creating your GPS grad portfolio story reflective and public to honor, understand, and connect your learning from self to society, bettering both. First, I'd like you to review creating your GPS grad portfolio story reflective and public, mission, design, and format. And secondly, I would like you to review the resources for designing and developing your GPS grad portfolio story process. And just write about what did you learn from reading this information, and did you get some ideas for creating your portfolio? If so, please discuss. So remember, all you are required to do is write your discussion, and that's how you earn your 35 points. And also, I don't have any length requirements, and please review the rubric as you're doing the discussion, but you're more than welcome to write to each other um, as often as you would like with this. Okay, let's look at assignment one that's coming up. I created a more detailed video overview for you for assignment one, so please review that. I'm just going to quickly go over this right now, but I've put a more detailed assignment overview video here. Assignment 1, creating your reflective portfolio. Phase 1, reflect. What's your learning story? Designing your elevator speech, developing your personal brand, and designing and monitoring your digital professional presence. Directions. Review the following resources and use the attached worksheet to answer your questions. Consult the attached Assignment 1 grading rubric. Here's the information I'd like you to review. Part 1, review the links on the importance of knowing your learning story, developing your elevator speech, and developing your personal brand, posted on the Complete Graduate Resource, which is our class website that I maintain. Also, after reviewing the resources, develop your elevator speech. I'd like you to write your elevator speech. And then part 2, review developing and monitoring your digital professional presence and graduate and what it means to be a college graduate 2.0. Review the information on resume and curriculum vitae, research design and delivery. Part 3, after reviewing the resources, what did you learn about the importance of having a learning story, an elevator speech, a personal brand, and developing and monitoring a digital professional presence? How will this help empower you in your career search, creating a resume, developing a portfolio, interviewing, etc.? And here is the worksheet. Remember, I create these worksheets, and so we'll take a minute to pull it up. As you see from the GPS grad portfolio grid, we are in the first phase, and I'll always include the grids here of what we are doing. So we see reflect, assess, collect, connect, and express are the 5 phases we'll go through. And so we are at the first one. What is your story? This point of this assignment, and I have no length requirements. You can write it in essay form, bulleted forms, whatever you would like to do. I've even had some people create videos for them. You can do whatever you want, but I'd like you to begin at least writing down about your learning story. So this is the first phase where you are going to write your choice of writing about your learning story. And here's our first question. What is your learning story? Reflect on your academic story, employment, volunteer, or customized to fit your learning story. This is not a one-size-fits-all. You certainly have a choice of what you would like to focus on. So you can pick and choose. And again, you can always custom fit for your learning story. Point of this is to just start writing about your learning and what you've learned about yourself. Okay. Number 2, after reviewing the resources, what did you learn about the importance of having a learning story, an elevated speech, a personal brand, and developing and monitoring your digital professional presence? 3, after reflecting on your learning story, how will that impact on the design and content of your current resume and curriculum vitae? And number 4, after reflecting on your learning story, how will that impact on the design and content of your elevator speech? And then I would like you to create your elevator speech. and that is a short introduction of who you are and what you would like to um, have other people learn about you in your career and citizenship development. Well, thank you. And remember, please look at the video for assignment one, which gives more detail. And I want to say thank you for your excellent work. And we are one day closer to graduation. Dr. Joni here. See you next week.